So whenever you integrate x raised to a certain power, you're going to have to use the power rule for integrals. So recall that when you derive using the power rule, so let's say we derive x squared, you're going to bring the power down and subtract by 1. So the answer would just be 2x. Well, however, when you do integrals, and you want to use the power rule in integrals, you do the exact opposite. So instead of multiplying and subtracting, you will instead add and divide. So the formula will be x to the n plus 1. So add 1 to the power over n plus 1 and divide by the same power. So let's look at the first problem, the integral of x squared dx. So we can use the power rule here. So all we have to do is add 1 to the power and divide by the same power. So in this case, you would get x to the 2 plus 1, which is x cubed, over 3. And since this is an indefinite integral, we have to add plus c. Now let's take a look at the integral from 1 to 2 of 1/2 x cubed dx. So the very first thing you can do is take out 1/2, since it's a constant. A constant can always be taken out of the integral. So we can say 1/2 times the integral from 1 to 2 of x cubed dx. Now we can use the power rule. So get 1/2 times, when we evaluate x cubed, we're going to add 1 to the power and divide by the same power. So we get 1/2 times x to the 3 plus 1, which is x to the 4th, over 4. So then when I multiply it by 1/2, I get x to the 4th over 8. And since this is a definite integral, I need to evaluate using the bounds that are given. So we're going from 1 to 2. So I plug in 2 first for x, so I get 2 to the 4th over 8, minus when I plug in 1 for x, so 1 to the 4th over 8. 2 to the 4th is 16 over 8, and 1 to the 4th is 1 over 8. And the final answer is 16 minus 1, so 15 over 8. Now let's take a look at the integral of 3 over x to the 5th dx. So like the previous problem, 3 is a constant, so we can take that outside the integral. So we get 3 times the integral of 1 over x to the 5th dx. And in order to use the power rule, we have to make sure the power is in the numerator. So we can change that to a negative power, and we say 3 times the integral of x to the negative 5th dx. So now we can use our simple formula, and we can do 3 times x to the negative 5 plus 1, add 1 to the power, and divide by the same power. So we get 3 times x to the negative 4, negative 5 plus 1 is negative 4, over negative 4. So then we'll get 3, negative 3 over 4, x to the negative 4th power, and to simplify we can move the exponent to the denominator to make it positive, so we get negative 3 over 4x to the 4th plus c.